Good morning. We're on the record. Good morning, everyone. As chairperson of the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board for the District of Columbia, and in accordance with DC Official Code Section 2576 of the Open Meetings Act, I am welcoming you to the regular scheduled meeting of the Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. This meeting has been conducted pursuant to guidance made available by the District of Columbia's Office of Open Government regarding electronic meetings held by public bodies during the public health emergency. Pursuant to this guidance, notice of today's meeting was provided 48 hours in advance of the meeting on ABRA's website and on the district's central meeting calendar. The notice included the time, date, agenda, and call-in or login information for public participation. This electronic meeting is being hosted by a WebEx account provided by the District of Columbia government. Please address any questions or complaints to the OOG at opengovoffice@dc.gov. My name is Donovan Anderson. I'm chairman of the board. I would like to introduce the other members of the ABC board who are also participating electronically pursuant to Mayor's Order 2020-054. Please respond when I announce your name. Mr. James Short.
Mr. James Short, present.
Mr. Bobby Cato.
Bobby Cato, present.
Ms. Rafi Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, present.
Ms. Jenny Henson.
Jenny Hansen, present.
The board has 5 members in attendance for the conduct of business today, and that constitutes a quorum. Before we get underway with today's hearing calendar, I need to make a few instructions very clear so that the conduct of these hearings is understood by everyone. There are 4 cases on today's calendar. Once your case is called, I will take a moment for our IT specialist to elevate the rights for each party to enable their camera and microphone. Then and only then will you have the ability to enable your equipment. If your case has not been heard, you will remain mute and your camera will be disabled. At the conclusion of each case, the parties will have the option to leave. If the party chooses to stay, all cameras and microphones for the concluded case will be disabled. Should you have any questions or require technical assistance during the hearing, please submit them using the question and answer feature or email simone.andrews2@dc.gov. Our first order of business today is a protest hearing case number 21 PRO 00014, Lee's Liquor Store license number 095751. This hearing is canceled due to the submission of a settlement agreement for the board's consideration and approval. See board order number 2021-327. Next case in our calendar is a cease and desist hearing for case number 21 CMP 00017 SNG Wine and Liquors license number 111012. Ms. Andrews, good morning. Could you please elevate the rights of the licensee, the licensee's attorneys, and the investigators for this case, please?
Sure, stand by. Mr. Lee, your rights have been elevated. Mr. Brashears, your rights have been elevated. That's all I have for this case, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Lee. Is the owner going to appear today?
Yes.
Can you have the owner identify him or herself on the chat so we can elevate their rights, please? Who is the owner? So I can have Ms. Andrews. Can you have the owner identify themselves on the chat so we're able to elevate their rights, please?
Mr. Undi, can you hear me? Hello?
You can mute yourself. You can mute yourself, Mr. Lee, so we don't need to hear your conversation.
Yeah. Because I just talked to him and he was on that, so that's why.
But
I do see Mr. Woundham on the line. Is that him, Mr. Lee? Yes, okay. Stand by.
Yes, did you see us?
Yes, do you have a camera, sir? You can elevate, do you have a camera?
Yes, my mom is here. My mom was using a computer, but the computer doesn't give a voice for you guys. Hello?
Yes.
Okay, now we are using the phone because the computer is not giving you the voice for my mom. She's here.
Well, sir, I don't need to hear from you because you're not the person. I need to hear from your mom. So
I understand.
I don't
Thank
need
you.
to, I don't need to hear any other, I don't need to hear any other sounds from you, sir. I need, your mom is the person who's identified as the person, as the owner. So that's the only voice I want to hear moving forward, sir. So where is she?
I am here.
And who are you, ma'am?
I'm good.
I'm sorry, who are you?
I am Gannett.
I'm sorry, you what?
I am Gannett Bishop.
All right, hold on 1 minute, please. All right. Good morning. All right. Good morning, everyone. We're here. This is the cease and desist hearing. The board had issued. I'm sorry. All right, we're here. Good morning, everyone. We're here today at the request of Mr. Kevin Lee, counsel for S&G Wine and Liquors, located at 5421 Georgia Avenue. Mr. Lee and his client desire to challenge the board's cease and desist order issued on May 21st, 2021. Board order number 2021-301 was issued in response to investigative report number 21 CMP 00017. On the night of May 5th, 2021, investigator Danzler was investigating a complaint regarding illegal nightclub activity next door to S&G Wine and Liquors. Her investigation led her to the licensee's establishment where she discovered an employee, Mr. Ali, with an expired ABC manager license. Investigator Danzler further spoke telephonically with an individual who purported to be the sole owner, Mr. Demise. Mr. Demise is not listed as the owner of record in ABC's official licensing files. The board subsequently issued a cease and desist order on May 26, 2021, in order to determine the true and actual owner of the business, of the license, and whether it is being lawfully managed by someone other than the owner. I will start this hearing by taking sworn testimony from our investigator, I think Mr. Mark Brashear, and then you, Mr. Lee, will have the opportunity to cross-examine the board's witnesses, as well as put on any witness of your own, also subject to cross-examination by the board. Any questions, Mr. Lee, on what we're going to do today?
Actually, my client, the owner, 100% owner of the Janet I Inc.
And who is, I'm sorry, Mr. Lee, who is your client?
My client, Janet Inc. That's the 100% owner is Janet Bishop.
Go ahead. I just want to.
And then Mr. Demise is also here because he mentioned on the investigative report and what happened. He can testify about it. So Mr. Demise is a son of Miss Bishop. So he wants to join this hearing today. So his name is on the screen as Undim Dimisi. So it's allowed to he can speak it today.
No, it's your, if you decide to call witnesses,
Okay.
you can call whoever you want as witnesses. Right. I was just saying to him initially, he's not the owner of record, so he has. I should not be speaking to him, but since you represent the owner, you
All
can
right.
call whatever witness that you want at that time. But currently, the only person I need to hear is the owner.
Okay.
So before we start, you have any other questions or concerns before we formally start the hearing?
So I don't have any others, so we can move on.
All right. So the board is going to, so the board will call its first witness. We're going to call Mr. Mark Bashirs. Mr. Bashirs, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Bashirs. Can you say and spell your name for the record, please?
My name is Mark Brashears. That's MarkBrashears.
And Mr. Bashirs, where are you currently employed?
I am currently employed with ABRA as a supervisory investigator.
And how long have you been employed at ABRA?
7 years, 10 months.
Now, are you familiar with this establishment, S&G Wine and Liquors?
I am, sir.
And how, can you please tell us, how did you become aware of this establishment, please?
Well, lead investigator Danzler works on my team. She conducted the investigation and authored this investigative report. As such, she conferred with me and I approved the report. Unfortunately, she's indisposed today, so I'm here to speak on her behalf.
All right, so when you said that you approved the report, tell me a little, just tell me what you mean you approved the report. Tell me a little bit about that process, please.
So when she and I discussed the investigation, when she completed the report, I reviewed the report, made recommendations, and ultimately signed and approved the report.
So are you her immediate supervisor, sir?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right. So can you share with us while we're here about the case report that was generated by the agency? How did the agency become aware of S&G Wine and Liquors?
Well, basically, investigator Danzler was looking into allegations of an illegal after-hours location on Georgia Avenue, a barbershop that was allegedly operating after hours. Her investigation led her to S&G Liquors and a Mr. June-10-2021. So as part of that investigation, from April 6, 2021 through April 19, 2021, investigator Danzler visited S&G Liquors several times. She met an individual named Mr. Ali with an expired ABC manager's license who was running the business, and he subsequently admitted that he did the ordering of the alcohol for the establishment. L.I. Danzler also met a man named June-10-2021 who claimed to be the owner of the establishment. It was subsequently learned that he was the son of establishment owner Jeanette Bichal. Mr. Demisi produced a power of attorney from Jeanette Bichal, allowing him to run the business. Review of the power of attorney showed that it had been in effect for a little over 2 years. During a conversation with L.I. Danzler on April 19th, Mr. Demisi admitted that he could not get an ABC manager's license, but did not state why. L.I. Danzler reviewed ABRA records and learned that Jeanette Bichal was the sole owner of S&G Wine and Liquors, and that no action had been started to change ownership. There was no copy of the power of attorney in ABRA records, nor was there a copy of any type of management agreement. During all of L.I. Danzler's visits, she did not encounter the owner or an ABC manager. It was basically L.I. Danzler's belief that a transfer of ownership occurred without board approval, or at the very least, there was no one approved by the ABC board superintending the business. As L.I. Danzler's supervisor, I authorized the investigation, approved the report that was submitted to the board, and I concur with her assessment of the facts.
I'm sorry. How many times? I'm sorry. How many times again physically did an ABRA investigator go to this establishment, visit this establishment?
That I'm aware of, 3 separate occasions, and then the 4th occasion, I went to the establishment to serve the cease and desist order, and during that time there was no ABC manager. I waited approximately 35 minutes for an individual to arrive to receive the documents. And that was the first interaction between either myself or Investigator Dantzler where someone with an ABC manager's license was present.
And who was that? I'm sorry. Who was present when you served the cease and desist order?
It was ABC manager Johannes Teklu.
And you're saying that you went there during the hours that they were approved to operate, and there was no ABC manager there. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I went there on May 26th at approximately 4:10 p.m.
And for the record, are you aware of what time what are their operating hours are?
I don't know offhand. I would have to look that up, sir.
I'm sorry. Is this what type of establishment is this?
This is a class A liquor store, sir.
It's a liquor store. So generally, what are the hours for liquor stores? Since the liquor store, I'm just asking.
This would typically be anywhere from, it could be anywhere from 8 a.m. to midnight.
All right, that's fine. And this establishment is a liquor store. So all right. So you went there during business hours. While you were there on the 26th at 4:10, and you said you waited approximately half an hour for the ABC manager to appear. Did you see any sales of alcohol during that period of time?
No, while I was there, and because I had asked for an ABC manager, the clerk that was there basically locked the door and stopped sales until such time that the ABC manager arrived.
So when you went there, did you have to buzz in, or did you just walk in the establishment?
No, sir. I was able to walk in. The establishment was operating, but unfortunately, when I went in, no sales were occurring. And once I stated who I was and why I was there, the individual said the ABC manager had stepped out. He would call him, and as such, he locked the door and turned people away for sales until such time as the ABC manager arrived.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Does any other board members have any questions of Mr. Brashears?
Yes, I'd like to ask a question, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Mr. Short.
Good morning, Mr. Investigator Brashears.
Good morning, sir.
Again, will you state what the license, what is the licensee licensed to do, and what is its application?
Well, they are a Class A retailer, which means they can sell beer, wine, and spirits.
Okay, so the original, as I understand your testimony, the original complaint was they were operating as a nightclub?
Let me clarify, sir. There is a former barber shop a few doors down. Investigator Dantzler was initially looking into complaints that the barber shop was operating as a speakeasy. MPD had been involved. No one could subsequently get into the establishment, but upon talking to the neighbors, they learned that Investigator Dantzler learned that Mr. DeMisi was the owner of the barber shop. When Investigator Dantzler spoke to him about that, he stated that he had subleased the barber shop to another tenant, and that was the person that was potentially running the speakeasy. But once Investigator Dantzler had visited the establishment and spoke with Mr. DeMisi, the neighbors stated that there were no further instances of the alleged speakeasy operating.
So the license that's before us today for the cease and desist is a retail A. And they have
For the liquor store.
they have nothing on their license that would allow them to operate as a nightclub or to sublease their license to a nightclub. Is that correct?
Correct, sir. And the barber shop is a few doors down. It's a different physical address.
And the owner of that property or that address?
Investigator Dantzler found that to be Mr. DeMisi.
Thank you very much. Thank you for actually report, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Chair. Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Short. Any other questions by any other board members? Your witness, Mr. Lee. Any questions of Mr. Bashir, Mr. Lee?
Yeah. First of all, thanks for your hard work, Mr. Brashears. I represent the licensee. And actually, I want to make sure because I heard that both members confused about what is initiated this allegation. That is the barber shop 2 doors down, not the SNG liquor store, right? So I'm just to make it clear that. And then the investigator report, I want to focus on that alleged violation is this official code 25-445, application for transfer to new owner. That's the issue here. And then he said that substantiate, yes. So I'm just wondering, what kind of fact you find that there is an illegal transfer without board approval to the new owner?
Well, again, we visited the establishment numerous times and was told the owner was out of the country in Ethiopia on vacation. The documents that were provided stated that the power of attorney had been in place for over 2 years. And during our visits, we did not encounter the owner or any ABC manager. So at the very least, if this is not a transfer of ownership, we could not find anyone operating that was approved by the board.
So actually, I thought that it's a lot of places out of owner absence, and the manager can operate the business. But in this case, the manager license has been expired. He didn't know, and he fixed it on the same day to pick up the manager's license. But
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Please ask a question. Please don't testify.
Okay. And then you look at the power of attorney and then ask Mr. DeMisi, the licensee son, about what happened, where is the owner, and why they use a power of attorney. He actually used a power of attorney to operate the business. Did you find it, and did you substantiate it for it?
Well, I did not conduct the investigation. L.I. Dantzler did. And what she stated and what she put into the report was that Mr. DeMisi presented the power of attorney as his authority or approval to run the business.
But actually, with the power of attorney, did you see he actually operate the business? Because there is an ABC manager there.
Well, again, sir, we did not see we encountered Mr. DeMisi, who identified himself to L.I. Dantzler as the owner, which he is not the owner on record. We did not find during our visits an ABC manager present. So again, it was enough instances of someone not being in charge of the establishment, plus an individual with an expired ABC manager's license stating that he was doing the purchasing of alcohol, that we submitted a report to put it to the board to try to find out what was going on.
But actually, did Mr. DeMisi or any licensee said they want to transfer ownership?
No, but Mr. DeMisi claimed to be the owner and provided a document giving him what he believed the ability to manage the business, and he is in fact not the owner.
But it's owner was not there, right? On vacation. Did you find that?
We were told the owner was in Ethiopia.
Yes. And then during that time, it's a limited time. Can someone operate with the ABC manager license? That's correct.
Correct.
Yeah. So manager doesn't have a manager license because it already expired. Then he just fixed it on the same day. Did you find that the new manager's permit they can provide your investigator?
No, again, I did not investigate this report.
I
This
understand.
report was written by, but during the times that L.I. Dantzler visited 3 times and my subsequent visit, there was no one that identified themselves as the ABC manager, and Miss Bashaw, the owner, was not present.
Yeah. So based on your experience, if you go to some establishment, if you didn't find the owner and there is an ABC manager, but ABC manager's license is expired, you said that just no manager on duty violation, or just new owner illegal transfer the license to the new owner? That's too big, right? I think it's just a simple no manager on duty case.
Well, again, there were enough instances where we could not locate the owner. An individual claimed to be the owner who was not. Documents were not submitted to ABRA to change ownership. So it was enough that L.I. Dantzler believed it warranted the board looking into it. And as such, I authorized her investigation.
So I'm just wondering, Ms. Dantzler said that Mr. Demisi, he claimed he is the owner to transfer ownership.
No, he held himself out to be the owner. And when that was questioned, he produced the power of attorney. And the other thing that was concerning to L.I. Dantzler was that the power of attorney had been in place for over 2 years.
But actually, you look at the power of attorney, that's not a limited time in there. It's a general power of attorney. So is it good for that? And then your investigator explained to Mr. Demis that you cannot operate with the power of attorney because ABC board does not recognize. You have to file a management agreement for the time. So your investigator explained because some owner or ABC manager doesn't know about this. It's a management agreement. They have to file. So did she explain to the Mr. Demisi to fix it?
Well, L.I. Dantzler conferred with our our adjudication staff and found that a power of attorney would not suffice. Again, she checked the records and found there was no transfer, no management agreement in place. And she told Mr. Demisi that he cannot operate the establishment on a power of attorney. It would not be recognized.
So actually, my question is, ABC board tried to fix his mistake by providing the management agreement instead of a power of attorney.
Well, again, sir, none of these things were received at ABRA, so I can't speak to what he may or may not have tried to do.
I'm sorry about that, but actually on the investigative report, and then the season disease based on investigative report, that alleged violation is an application for transfer to the new owner. So it says yes. So I think it's not sufficient fact or finding based on that to allege the violation. So I'm just asking you that is there any sufficient fact? It's not mere speculation. Okay, there might be owner might change without board approval. It's not the situation because I was surprised, and then Mr. Demisi explained to me that this is just a no manager on duty case. So based on your experience, if something happened like that, and we gave them another chance to come back with a manager, with a ABC manager license, But this case is an application for transfer of new owner. It's a jump too much. What do you think?
Well, I think we're talking semantics at this point. Again, like I said, he held himself out to be the owner, which he is not. He was allegedly running the business, and he did not have the documentation to do it. And again, that's why the report was authored for the board to make whatever decisions they would make based on what's provided.
Okay, no further question. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hold on, Mr. Bashir. Mr. Bashir, are you aware whether or not any management agreement was filed with the agency? Are you aware?
When Ella Danzler did the Aber records review, checking all of those things, she found no management agreement, no copy of the power of attorney, and no initiation of any type of transfer of ownership.
All right, thank you. Now, you're saying that based on the visits to the establishment and also by the assertion of Mr. Demisi that he was the owner, that the agency was speculating that maybe there was an illegal transfer. Is that what you're saying based on the representation of Mr. Demisi to the investigator?
Yes, sir, especially based on the fact that during one of the conversations, Mr. Demisi, Ella Danzler stated that he had said he could not get an ABC manager's license, but did not elaborate as to why. So the fact the establishment, he was operating with a power of attorney, it looked suspect in the fact that maybe ownership had changed and the proper documents hadn't been filled out for whatever reason. And again, it was enough anomalies that we wanted to bring it to the board's attention so that it could be looked into.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bashir. All right, I don't have any other questions from Mr. Bashir, so that's the extent of the board's witness. Do you wish, this is a hearing that you requested, Mr. Lee, so do you have a witness you want to call?
Yes, I have two witnesses to testify today. So first one is owner of the Janet Inn. That's the licensee. Miss Bishop.
I'm sorry, what's the name of it? I'm sorry.
Miss Bishop. That's a licensee.
Miss Bishop. Miss Bishop. I see the name on the screen, but I'm not getting a response, Mr. Lee.
Okay, we can move on.
No, Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee.
Yeah.
Mr. Lee.
You did hear me?
All right.
Miss Bishop.
Yes.
Can you get closer to the phone, please, ma'am? I can hardly hear you. Hello? Hello?
Yes. You did hear me?
I cannot hear you, ma'am. I need you to be close to the I need you to speak into the microphone. I cannot hear you. And we can't have this hearing if I cannot hear you. Miss Bishop.
Mr. Chair, I hate to interrupt, but it seems like Mr. Demisi and Ms. Bishaw are in the same space.
Thank you. Thank you.
Logged on two different devices.
Well, if they're in the same space, then one person needs to log up. Miss Bishaw needs to log off, and we just use the device that Mr. Demisi is using because.
Okay. I think Ms. Bishop can use my phone. Can you do that, please?
I don't care. I need her on the phone. So
Okay.
figure out how to do it.
Can you unmute Mr. Wonden's phone? Then Bishop can answer that, please. because her phone is not working for WebEx.
You hear
Can
me?
you hear? Hello, Miss Bishop.
Yes.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Miss Bishop.
Yes, like this.
Miss Bishop.
Yes.
All right. I need her to log off the other. She's here on my screen twice. I need her to log off. How can we do that? Can someone tell her she needs to log off her login so I can hear her on the other line?
Ms. Bishaw, you at your desktop right now?
Yes, can you please unmute mine so my mom can use my phone because she's not.
Sir, you're already unmute. That's how we can hear you right now.
Okay, perfect. My mom is here. Now you can talk to her.
Okay, so I'm going to just take away the rights of the other one. You guys can log off of that one.
All right. Okay, we log off the other one.
All right, Miss Bishaw, is Miss Bishaw there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, Miss Bishaw, can you raise your right hand, please? I can't see you, so you need to let me know when you're doing it, ma'am.
Now
Hello?
you see now?
Hello? I'm sorry?
You see my hand?
I can't see you, ma'am. I just need you to tell me that you have done it, okay? All right. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
sorry? What did you say, ma'am?
I said yes.
Are you all right? So you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. Is that correct? So you said yes? Is that all right? It's your witness, Mr. Lee. I'll see if this is not going to work. If this doesn't work, I'm going to reschedule this hearing. But let's see what's going on. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just asking several questions.
Yes, I do.
Ms. Michelle, this is Kevin Lee. I'm your attorney to ask several questions. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. You own the 100% of the Janet Inc.
Hold on, Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee, can you please have her state and spell her name for the record, please?
Okay. Would you say your name and spell out for me?
My name is Gannet Bishaw.
What's your spell out?
Genetbishaw.
Okay. Are you the owner of the Janet Inc.?
Yes.
Is there any other owner share with you?
No.
You are the only one?
Yes.
Okay. And you tried to transfer business to your son?
No.
Okay. What happened to you? Why? How long you've been in vacation in Ethiopia?
I want to December.
December
Because I was
2020?
sick, cholera virus, I was sick, COVID, because of COVID, I go to Ethiopia.
Okay, when you came back?
I came June 1, 2021.
Why you signed the power of attorney to your son?
Because I talked to my lawyer, and the lawyer said because of emergency, my mom is sick on Ethiopia, and then I said to my lawyer, the lawyer said give to the power of attorney to my son. He say like that. When you say like that, I give to my son power of attorney.
And then did you give your manager, Mr. Ali, and sign the check to purchase the alcohol?
Yes, always I sign it to my manager, Touch Falem. He's a good manager.
So you want him to operate your business?
Yes.
And then your son operate the business too?
No.
Because Abra said that your son presented power of attorney to operate the business. Is it true?
No. No.
So your son was at the business all the time?
No. He has work. No. The manager is responsible. I give to the manager because the manager is a good manager. His father is a good manager. I give to him.
What's your manager's name?
Tasfalem Ali.
What's his spell?
Tasfalem. Tesfale. Tasfalem.
Last name?
Ali, Ali.
Oh, thanks. And he still work there?
Yes.
And then he has a manager's permit now?
Yes.
Do you try to transfer ownership in the future to your son?
No.
So you gonna operate by yourself or with the manager?
Yes.
Do you have any health problem not to operate the business?
No.
So your COVID is all recovered, right?
Yes.
All right. So do you know what happened to your license now?
Now I listen now. Because of corona virus, it is not renewed.
So actually, do you know why we are at the hearing now?
What do you say? Abra is closed.
Okay. No further question to her. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have some questions for you, ma'am. Who is Mr. Ali?
Who is manager? He is a manager of.
I'm sorry. Who is he? He's a manager of what? Who is Mr. Ali? Who is Mr. Ali?
He is a manager of SNG Liquor and Wine. My liquor store. He's in my liquor store.
And how long has he been a manager of your liquor store?
Again the question.
You said, ma'am, what did he? Ma'am, the question I asked you, how long has he been a manager in your liquor store?
3 years.
So he's been a manager of your liquor store for 3 years. That's what you said?
Yes, I
Is that correct? I'm sorry?
2018.
All right. Who did you give a power of attorney to?
To my son.
And why did you give your son a power of attorney?
Because I have to go to Ethiopia because of emergency. My mom is sick. The lawyer said like this. When I tell to my lawyer, he said, you give to power of attorney to your son and go, he say, when he say, I did this.
So what is it that your son can do? When you gave him this power of attorney, what is it that, what was he supposed to do with this power of attorney?
For accounting to bank and bank.
I'm sorry, what?
He do, he control the manager. Sometimes he control my manager. He deposit money in a bank to talk with accounting and so on.
So why did your son tell the investigators that he was the owner of the business?
No, I don't know that.
I'm sorry, you said what?
I don't know that.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said, ma'am.
I don't know that.
You don't know that? Are you saying you don't know why?
I give the power to the owner.
I'm sorry, who's the owner you gave the power to?
Me.
All right, your son told the investigator that he was the owner of the liquor store. Why, if you are the owner, why did he tell the investigator that he was the owner?
That is misunderstanding.
How is that a misunderstanding?
Is not the owner. He has the power of attorney only.
All right. You stated that you were sick and you were gone for 6 months. Is that correct?
Yes.
So you left in December and you came back in June 1st.
Yes.
So who was running the business between December and June 1st?
Tasfaun Ali is the manager with that store.
I'm sorry, who?
Tasfaun Ali is the manager with that store.
So you were gone for 6 months and you left Mr. Ali in charge?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
He's a good manager. Because of that, I left to that. Because when I'm going, I'm very sick. This COVID, I sick.
Ma'am, I'm not asking about you being sick.
Yes.
I'm asking you, ma'am. You said that you're gone for 6 months. You said that, all right, I'm confused. Why did you go to Ethiopia for 6 months?
Because of vacation. I was sick, COVID, and I go to Ethiopia because of vacation.
So when were you sick?
COVID.
I said, when were you sick, ma'am? Ma'am, you should know when you were sick. You said you were sick. When were you sick? I'm sorry?
When the COVID is happen, I am sick. May. The month is May.
So you were sick in May, you recovered in December, and you went on vacation to Ethiopia for 6 months in December. Is that what you're saying?
I go to vacation.
You're stating that you were sick in May, you recovered, and you went to Ethiopia. I'm sorry?
Let me explain, okay? I got COVID in May, and then I recovered. I go to vacation to decide to November, to December.
You who what? What did you say, ma'am? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
I got sick in May. I decided to go to vacation in December. You can understand me?
And you went away and you're on vacation for 6 months. So you're on vacation in Ethiopia from December till June 1st. Is that correct?
Yes.
So why did you come back on June 1st?
Yes.
Ma'am, whoever is talking to you, I don't want to hear
when
them
I
talk.
come, you
Lady,
understand?
miss, hold on. I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to your son or anyone else. I can't see you. I don't know who's talking to you, but I heard somebody talking to you, ma'am. So I'm asking you a question and I need you to answer the question. I don't want to hear a male voice in the background speaking to you because you're the one said that you were sick. You're the one said that you're in vacation. You should know when you were sick and you should also know when you're in vacation. Someone should not have to tell you when you were sick and when you were on vacation, ma'am. So I'm asking you a question.
Nobody. I
Miss,
said to the boy, you can understand me?
Miss, hold on 1 minute, please. I heard a male voice in the background speaking to you. So don't tell me no one is talking to you. I heard a male voice in the background. If your son is there with you, he need not to give you answers, ma'am. I only need to hear answers from you. He cannot speak. He cannot tell you any answers. He cannot tell you what to say. I need you to answer my question and speak to me alone. Is that correct?
Okay. Nobody in my place. Okay.
How often prior to you being sick in May, how often are you in the liquor store?
5 days in a week.
I'm sorry?
5 days in a week.
So you're saying that you're in a liquor store five. So prior to
Yes.
you getting sick in May, you were in a liquor store 5 days a week?
When I am here, I work 5 days in a week.
And so often, how often do you travel? How often do you leave the country, ma'am? And for how long? Usually you said this time you're gone for 6 months. But prior to that, how often do you travel and how long are you gone for?
Uh, our operation is sometimes 10 from 10 a.m. up to 7 midnight.
That's not the question I asked you, ma'am. The question I asked you, how often do you travel? You said that you were sick in May and that you went on vacation in December and you came back in June. So the question I'm asking you, prior to you being sick in May, how often, prior to you going to Ethiopia for 6 months in December, how often do you travel?
Only once I travel.
The reason why I'm confused, ma'am, on one hand, you're saying that your mother is sick or somebody is sick or someone is sick. That's why you went to Ethiopia. Now you're saying that you went to Ethiopia for vacation for 6 months. So which one is it? Did you go home to Ethiopia for 6 months because somebody is sick, or did you go home to Ethiopia for 6 months because you were on vacation? Which one was it?
Again, now the question.
I'm sorry, ma'am. This is the question I'm asking you, ma'am. Did you go to Ethiopia for 6 months because you were on vacation, or did you go to Ethiopia for 6 months because someone in your family was sick? Which one is it?
I go to Ethiopia only the first time when my mom is sick, 2019. And then I came back.
And when
And
did you
then
go?
you can listen. And then I have a COVID, and then I go to Ethiopia in 2020.
Now, do you intend to do you intend to maintain ownership of this liquor store, ma'am?
Again,
I'm sorry.
again the question.
Are you planning to sell this liquor store, or do you plan to keep to continue owning it?
No,
No
no,
what?
I'm not selling. It is my business. I'm not selling.
All right. So when you're not there, who is in charge of the business?
The manager and sometimes Tasfalem Ali and me.
So now, is there any? Did you sign any paperwork transferring ownership or management of the business to Mr. Ali?
No, no. I am the one side.
Now, do you understand that it's illegal to operate the business without a licensed manager?
Yes, I do.
So if you do, why is it that when the ABC, Mr. Bashir's testified today that when he went there on May 26th at 4:10, that there was no ABC manager there?
What repeat again the question. I didn't listen.
Mr. Bashir's testified earlier that on April 26th, when he came there to issue the cease and desist order, that there was no ABC manager at the establishment. Why was that so?
He is going he is going to bring a lunch with that time.
So are you aware that you cannot what time is your business open, ma'am? What are your hours?
The business 10 to midnight
Every day?
every day.
So the business open from 10 a.m. to midnight every day, is that correct?
Yes.
Do you know that between 10 a.m. and midnight every day, if there is not an owner or an ABC manager there, that you cannot operate? Are you aware of that, ma'am?
Yes, I know that. He's
So
a
if
good
you know,
manager. I know that.
I'm sorry, you said what? What did you say, ma'am?
Yes.
So if you are aware of that, why is it that every time Abra came to your establishment, there has never been an ABC manager or an owner present? Why is that so?
Because one time the license is expired. The next time he bring lunch, he go to give lunch because of that.
But if he goes to give lunch, why is the business still open? If he's not there, why is the business open if he's not there?
Because the other guy is going,
I'm sorry, what?
the other guy is going to sell the grocery.
The other guy's going to sell the grocery?
Yes.
What does that mean?
When the shaman, the manager is going to buy lunch, it takes 30 minutes. Within 30 minutes, the other guy is in the liquor.
So why doesn't the other guy go?
The
Go
other
ahead, ma'am.
guy is not selling a liquor. He knows the rule.
So why doesn't the other guy go buy the lunch if you know that you can't operate without the ABC manager or owner? Why is it the ABC manager not there? How many ABC managers do you have for the establishment, ma'am?
I have one. The ABC manager, again the question.
How many ABC managers do you have for your establishment?
Two.
And who are the two ABC managers?
What do you say?
Who are the two ABC managers?
Because when I go to...
No, ma'am. Who are the two ABC managers?
Because when I go to Ethiopia, I add one manager, ABC manager.
Ma'am, who are the two ABC managers that you have in your establishment?
That is Johannes.
Who?
Johannes and Tasfalem Ali.
What's Johannes? What's Johannes? What's his name? Who's Johannes? What's his correct? How do you say what is his first and last name?
Johannes Ibra.
How do you spell that?
Johannes Yohannes, Johannes.
And what's his
First
last name? I'm sorry, ma'am.
The first name is Johannes.
And what's the last name?
The last name Y-E-B-R-A. Ibra. Johannes Ibra.
Since you have been back on June 1st, how many days have you been into the store?
5 days.
So you came back from, so what were the days that you came back on? You came back last week Tuesday. So when were you, tell me what days were you in the liquor store?
Since I have a license.
No, ma'am. The question I asked you.
Please wait me, please. I understand. Please wait me. Not like fast. When you fast, it is not answer. I have no answer, please. Since I come, I go every day.
What day was that?
Since I come, I go every day to make sure.
Make sure what?
What you say?
You go every day to make sure what?
To make sure they are not selling liquor. Because I do have the license. I do have the license because I do have the license.
So what have you been selling since? So what have you been selling in the store? What have you been selling?
What do you say?
What have you been selling?
What are in 7?
All right, all right. You don't have a license to sell. You don't have a license to sell liquor, and you said you have been there every day. So what is it you have been selling in the liquor store?
I sell grocery and tobacco. I have to what? To pay rent. To sell grocery and tobacco.
All right. Does anyone else have a question for her?
What do you say?
Not you, ma'am. I'm asking the board members if they have any questions for you.
Okay, sorry.
So, all right, no one has any other questions for her. All right. You have any other follow-up questions, Mr. Lee, or do you have another witness?
Yeah, I have another witness because Mr. Demisi is
Because
on the report.
All right.
Mr. Bishop, you're done. Thanks for your testifying.
So who's the next person you're calling now?
Yeah, I want to call Mr. Demisi. That's a licensed son.
Mr. Demisi,
Hi, how are you? I'm Mr. Demise.
can you raise your right hand, please?
Yes, sir.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right, your witness, Mr. Lee.
Yeah. Please state your name and spell out for the record.
My name is Wondam Demise, Wounim. Last name Demissie.
Thank you. Actually, we just talk about that. You heard that you represent, you are the owner of the business. Is it correct? And what happened?
No, I didn't say I'm the owner of the business. Actually, I'm the one who told her I am the owner's son. That's the reason she write all the report.
Okay. And you had several opportunity to talk with the investigator Dantzler. And did you represent as owner?
Never. I told her I'm the owner's son.
Okay. And about the power of attorney, what did you make a power of attorney and what purpose?
Okay, when my mom left first, she talked to her attorney and she's living for 6 months. So her attorney prepared a power of attorney. So as a family and as a good son, I control some of her other stuff. Let's say the accounting, the taxes are paid on time and the employees are doing the right job and other things. I never sell liquor. I never order liquor. And I don't even know how to do that. But I am a very good businessman. I ran 4 7-Elevens. So make sure on my mom absent, other people don't take advantage of my mom. So I'm just supervising her business as a good son. Any son can do for his mom. But I never have any ownership interest on that business.
So actually you operate the business and instructing manager on duty, Mr. Ali, to do something?
No, I make sure Mr. Ali is, doing the right thing. Like every morning, I go to the store, I say hi to Mr. Ali, I make sure if he need anything, I talk to him. That's all I can do. This power of attorney is actually come from my mom attorney to make sure, Mr. Ali deposits the money on time. We know Mr. Ali is a good manager, but he's not our blood family. So I want to make sure my mom business is on the right place until she coming back, because this is the only business she support herself, she support her family's back home.
So while your mom's absence, were you in the store all the time, or how often you check the store?
Every time I drive by in the morning, they open 10 o'clock. I stop by, I said hi, Did you need anything? I make sure they are okay, and I left to my job. I'm a very busy guy, running for 7-Eleven 24 hours. I don't even have time to eat breakfast. I have more than 60 employees to control, and I don't even have time to run my business, my mom business.
I'm just wondering, so Mr. Ali, whenever he purchased alcohol, he asked you to your permission?
No, Mr. Ali managed the store the way better than anybody because he has been there since the store is open.
Okay, and one more thing is, who made the power button? What kind of explanation you heard that? Because you did you know that you have to file management agreement, not the power of attorney with the ABC board while your mom's absence? Did you know that?
No, I don't know before, but after I met you, Kevin, you explained for us this is the right way to do it. But as an honest mistake, we are not an attorney. The other attorney prepared this. Now we understand that's a mistake. It's not gonna happen. That's what it is. But before, I don't know.
But your power of attorney dropped in 2019. What happened? Why you made the power of attorney at the time?
Because that was the first time my mom left to Ethiopia when her mom is sick, 2019. That was the time, and we leave this power of attorney inside the store. Plus, I submitted to ABRA on, they said they don't have that, but I submitted to ABRA on July 23 at 3:03 p.m. I go to ABRA, I submitted, they stamp it for me.
So actually, you don't need to operating the store. Why you need the power of attorney to do that?
Because it's not to operate the liquor store, the power of attorney is to control anything happen to my mom business when she's outside. Her lawyer suggests it's better you give power of attorney for your blood family. It's not only to operate.
So this time you consulted with your attorney before your mom left country?
Yes, 2019, before she left, because always I want to do the right thing. So I told my mom.
I'm talking about 2020, this time.
This time we didn't talk because we don't. That power of attorney has been there since 2019 inside the store. We never do another power of attorney.
But you just ask your attorney to it's still effective.
Yes, he told me, yes, this power of attorney is effective. It's not only to run that business, but to make sure her staff is good until she coming back.
So you just followed your attorney's advice for power of attorney. Is that correct?
Yes. But finally, you explain for me ABRA law, which I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I supposed to have a management agreement to do this kind of job. And that's our mistake, and it will never gonna happen.
So now you understand what you need whenever it happen again.
Yes, Kevin.
And who purchased the alcohol beverage?
Mr. Tesfaun Ali.
Okay, it's not you. You never write the check. You never order it.
Never.
Okay, and then the investigator Ratios explained that your ABC manager license was denied. What
never
happened?
been denied. I never applied. And now I start the process actually. After these things happen, I start the process. I'm waiting for my fingerprint. I never apply. I never get denied.
Did you have an ABC manager license before?
Before in 2018, I have ABC manager license. Yes.
But what happened for now?
Because I don't work on the liquor store. I never order liquor store. That time I have ABC manager because my mom was new for the business. I start working nighttime over there to help my mom until she get manager. Once she got the right manager, my ABC license expired. I never renew it.
Okay. It's a kind of additional question about the barber shop. Are you the landlord for that?
Yes, Kevin. I own different properties in DC. That's one of my property.
And what happened?
I get a call like any landlord can get a call from DCRA first, who control, DC Department of everything. Then they told me there is something going on as a nightclub. I told them I didn't aware any of it, but they asked me, can you send us the lease? I emailed them the lease, which the tenant got from me. Then finally they communicate with the tenant and they check the property and they told us, no, nothing is wrong. I'm good.
So did you talk to with Mr. Ali after this, whether he got the correct license manager's permit?
Yeah, Mr. Ali, a very alert guy. He actually paid everything because of COVID. He paid everything by mail, but he was expecting his license is mailed too. So that's why he didn't go. But the same day, the investigator come, Mr. Ali closed the store, drive by to Abra, bring his license the same day.
So actually, Mr. Ali and you recognize that there was no manager on duty at the time.
Yes.
But you fix it right after that, right?
Right away, within 30 minutes, he go down Abra, pick up his license.
Okay. Have you ever tried to transfer license from your mother to you?
Never.
Why not?
Because, like I said, if I want, I can have my own license in my place to run my own business. This is my mom's business. This is where she lives. But if I need to have a liquor license, I can have it whenever I am able to in the future.
So when you got your mother and you got the cease and desist order, what's your feeling?
Shocked, because as soon as the investigator come, I called for my mom and she gave me her attorney number. I called him and I told him what happened. He said, don't worry, this is manager no duty. When you receive a report, you are gonna send it to me. I was expecting a report is coming to us with a citation. But when they told me it's deceased, I was reading all the stuff she write. In first place, my family raised me very good. You can pay me $1 million. I never lie. Everything she put on the report, except the way it's translated, is what I told her.
Do you think there's a kind of misunderstanding going on?
Misunderstanding. I will not lie nothing. I told her, who are you? I am the owner's son.
Okay,
but
that's okay. Once we have a cease and desist order, how ask you, that's before your mom come back, how instruct your manager to do something, or what happened to the store?
As soon as I get that, I read it and I look at it. I'm not supposed to sell anything. So the same day we close the store. But after yes.
And you're still operating.
Then we opened the store after we put a caution sign on the beers, on the liquors, only grocery and tobacco, because we explained for my mom customers, we have a problem, it's coming, so she don't need to lose the customers. The store is operated for grocery and liquor, right? For grocery and tobacco right now.
And did you see it? That's before your mom come in and you felt it's a seriousness of this cease and desist order. Did you observe how you lock up the coolers and walk-in closet and that kind of stuff to make sure not to sell liquors?
Yeah, everything. I talked to Mr. Ali. He removed all the beer from walk-in cooler behind the storage. We put a yellow question sign on everywhere where is there beers, liquor. So that's why we did it.
Okay. Do you have anything to ask for the board about the cease and desist order?
I mean, I want the board to understand is that, like I say, I raised with a good family and God bless me with a lot of things. And there is nothing I do wrong. And the only thing I do wrong is an honest mistake, which is done by my previous attorney. That's actually to make it even legal. We call the attorney, what can we do? My mom is leaving. He's supposed to guide us. You need to have a management agreement, but he give us a power of attorney. So that's our mistake. And my mistake was I supposed to have ABC manager. I will have it, but I'm not working on the liquor store. I never order, but now I understand that even though I don't order, I go every morning to pick up my mom to see my mom. I will have ABC manager within 2 or 3 weeks now.
Okay, no further question.
All right. I just have a quick question, sir. Do you own any liquor stores? Do you own any liquor establishment in DC?
Yes, sir.
What establishment do you own?
On Venus 2 Inc.
I'm sorry, what establishment?
Venus 2 Inc.
Venus 2 Inc. What type of establishment is this?
It's a liquor store.
And where's this liquor store you own, sir?
1428 9th Street.
Do you own any other liquor establishment in DC outside of this one?
No, sir.
So this is the only one that you own.
Yes, sir.
All right. And so you're saying that you never told Miss Dancer that you were the owner of the liquor store when
sir.
she went. So what did you tell her, sir?
Okay, as soon as the inspector come to SNDG liquor store, she talked to Mr. Ali. At that time, I was in my 7-Eleven store. Mr. Ali told her his manager license is expired. The investigator explained to him he cannot sell liquor, so you have to call the owners or anybody. Because my mom is not here, Mr. Ali called straight to me. Then the investigator think, because she told him to call somebody, the owner, she thinks I'm the owner. At that point is a misunderstanding. But as soon as I talk to her, hi, how are you? I'm fine. Who are you? I'm Wondim Demise. Who are you for the business? I'm the owner's son. Oh, I'm looking for the owner. She's on vacation. Everything I told her was me. I'm not the owner for the business. But she just misconfused because she told Mr. Ali, you cannot sell liquor, so you have to call the owner. My mom is not in the city, so he called for me to let me know what happened.
All right, sir. I don't have any further questions. Does anybody else have any questions for him?
Yes, I have one question for him, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Mr. Short.
Mr. Demisi, what is the address of your property on Georgia Avenue?
I own two properties, 5419 Georgia Avenue and 5417 Georgia Avenue.
So when DCRA called you and told you that illegal activities were going on in your property, what did you do?
As soon as I heard that, I called my tenant and I asked her, I received these things, what's going on? She told me she's waiting for her permit to do the job. Other than that, she didn't do anything. Then I called back the investigator. He told me to email him the lease. I give it to my tenant and I emailed him.
Okay, now, when your tenant, did you ask your tenant what they were doing with your property?
Yes, I asked her.
What did she say?
She said she didn't do anything.
So why did DCRA call you if she hadn't done anything?
Because they received a complaint from the neighborhood. So they first communicate the landlord. Then after that, I have to provide all the information for them. That was the reason they communicate with me.
So do you still have the same tenant in that location?
Yes, because I talked to my lawyer. Can we evict this lady? The lawyer told me, yes, we do. After we receive a report from DCRA, she did something because she have a legal lease. We cannot evict her without no evidence. Then finally, we didn't receive any evidence from DCRA to evict her.
Okay, now, at your business at 1428 9th Street Northwest, what kind of business is that?
It's a liquor store, Class A license.
Okay, and so you know all the requirements for a liquor store for the District of Columbia, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you talk to Mr. Ali every day because he buys the liquor and manages for your mother, correct?
Yes.
How is it that he had an expired license and you are his boss and you didn't know that he had an expired license?
Because of this COVID, a lot of things are backed up. But actually, Mr. Ali is very active guy. He sent by mail before it was expired.
So does anybody else working for you as an ABC manager have an expired license? Do you check on those?
Most of the time we check it, and our people are very good, yes.
So most of the time you check it, but you didn't check Mr. Ali's.
Yeah, because it's not my business most of the time. It's my mom's business. I just see the, overall activities. If, it's not like running our business. So when you give a big responsibility for a store manager, that's our fault. And I learned from that, and my mom learned from that. We have to check it every time now.
So how long have you had your business on 9th Street? How long have you had the ABC license on 9th Street?
Almost since 2000, almost 5 years.
So in 5 years, you don't know enough about the ABC licenses to know you physically are responsible for checking. So if you were running your mother's store for her while she was away for 6 months, you or no one else checked to see Mr. Ali was running the business with an expired ABC license.
No, it just expired like 1 month because of this COVID. It's not like expired for all day or all year.
How long has COVID been going on, Mr.?
Almost 1 year since it started. But his license is just expired on March. And the investigator come on April.
When did you check his license before March? When was the last time you checked his license before March?
Personally, I don't check his license that much every time because he is also responsible to do that.
Can you tell this board when was the last time you checked his license before March?
I never checked it.
You never checked it?
Before that, I never remember I checked that because, like I said, my mom is the owner for that business. I'm just looking for her until she coming back. This is her responsibility to check it.
Well, how could she check it if she was on vacation?
Understand?
How could she check anybody's license if she was on vacation?
Understand that, but how could I check it, somebody's owner license when she's not there? But if I supposed to check now, I understand I have to do that, but I'm sorry for not checking his license at that time.
So you've been in the ABC license, you owned property and been in business for 5 years for ABC license on 9th Street, and you didn't have any idea the responsibilities that you or your mother or anyone else selling alcohol in the District of Columbia have. Is that correct?
No, I know all the responsibilities and I know all the stuff in my own establishment because I go and I do the work over there. But with my mom business, I'm not that much involved on the liquor activity over there. That's the reason.
Well, do you realize, sir, that someone has to be responsible for a license and for the people that work under that license, and that the owner has to pay a fine if found guilty by this board?
Yes.
Do you think that's correct or incorrect?
Sorry, I don't understand the last question.
Do you think it's correct that people who operate alcohol business in the District of Columbia and don't keep their licenses up should be fined?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Thank you very much. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Short. Any other questions by any of the board members? All right, I don't have any other questions. Mr. Lee, do you have any other questions? Do you have any other witnesses?
No further witness to testify today.
All right. Okay, so before I bring this hearing to close, what is it that you want to, this is a cease and desist order that the board had issued. So what is it that you want to occur?
Actually, we request to vacate the cease and desist order because they just honest mistake made it, and then there is never illegal transfer without board approval, and they didn't know that it's a management agreement should be filed, not power of attorney. So they keep saying that they will not make any same violation again. But no manager on duty, that's no other excuse, and they will recognize that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lee. All right. As chairperson of the Alcohol and Beverage Control Board for the District of Columbia, in accordance with DC Official Code Section 2574B of the Open Meetings Act, I move that ABC Board hold a closed meeting for the purpose of seeking legal advice from our counsel on case number 21 CMP 00017 SNG Wine and Liquors, pursuant to DC Official Code Section 2574B of the Open Meetings Act, and deliberating upon case number 21 CMP 00017 SNG Wine and Liquors, for the reasons cited in DC Official Code Section 2574B13 of the Open Meetings Act. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short, I second the motion. I'll now take a roll call vote on the motion before it's now that it's been seconded. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, aye.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. As it appears that the motion has passed, I hereby give notice that the ABC Board will recess this proceedings to hold a closed meeting in the ABC Board conference room pursuant to Section 2574B of the Open Meetings Act. Thank you very much, Mr. Lee. The board we will issue an order accordingly, whether or not we will list the cease and desist order. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ty.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, then. Bye-bye. All right, the next case on our calendar is a fact finding here in case number 21-251-00008, Hewitt Ethiopian Restaurant and Mark, license number 100297. Ms. Andrews, can you please elevate the rights of the owner and the investigator for this case, please?
Sure, stand by.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Sarah, your rights have been elevated. Mr. Ruiz, your rights have been elevated. That's all, Mr.
Thank you. Good morning. This is a fact finding here. And the reason why it's a fact finding here is that an incident occurred. Hold on. The ABC board received a letter from the police department receiving a letter from Robert J. Conti, the third chief of police, on May 27th, 2021, basically regarding the establishment and the infraction that occurred, that there was an incident that occurred on May 26, 2021 at 9:15 p.m., where someone was stabbed at the establishment. And so the chief of police asked us to have a fact finding here so we can get some further information regarding that issue. So that's why we're here. The purpose of this is just a fact finding. We're here trying to just gather information. No one is under, we're not taking, this is a more informal proceeding, so no one will be under oath. And the ABC board will just gather some information, and then we will determine what further action, if any, we will take. Is everyone clear?
Yeah.
All right. Let me have the parties identify themselves. Also, I need you to state and spell your name for the record, and we'll start with the owner of the licensee, please.
Okay. My name is Sarah Tashoma. Sarah, S-A-R-A. Last name Tashoma, T-S-H-O-M-E. I'm the owner of the restaurant.
Thank you, Mr. Ruiz. Mr. Ruiz.
Yeah, good morning. This is Mark Ruiz, M-A-R-K-R-U-I-Z.
All right. Okay, thank you. Mr. Ruiz, where are you currently employed, sir?
With the Alcoholic Beverage Regulation Administration.
Can you elevate your volume, sir? I can't. Yes, maybe that's better. And what's your role at the agency, sir?
I am an investigator to inspect and investigate ABC establishments located within the District of Columbia.
And how long have you been employed by the agency?
2 years and 4 months.
Are you familiar with Hewitt Ethiopian Restaurant and Market?
Yes, I am.
And how are you familiar with the establishment, sir?
Due numerous visits on this particular occasion and received an MPD 251 investigation regarding an assault with a deadly weapon, specifically a knife, that occurred inside the establishment on May 26, 2021 at approximately 9:15 p.m. Upon initial receipt of the report, reviewing the MPD 251, it was apparent that Officer Haystack received a radio run for a stabbing at this location, arrived on scene and met with, identified in his report as W1, which is the ABC manager that was operating the establishment at the time, identified as Mr. Fikir Rodaho. He met with him in front of the establishment, who also alerted him to the victim that was stabbed, who was located inside the establishment, laying on the floor, conscious, breathing, but suffering from a stab wound to his stomach. W1, who is Mr. Fikir, who is the owner of the ABC manager of Hawat Restaurant, reported that the victim was inside drinking when the suspect walked in, attempting to sell numerous items, at which time Mr. Fakir denied the sales and asked him to leave the building. During that time, the victim within the establishment, identified Mr. Taseme, began speaking to the suspect in vulgar language, cussing at him, as well as making statements in regards to "I will kill you," at which time the Mr. Fakir attempted to separate the parties, asked the suspect to leave the store several times, which he just relocated himself to the end of the bar by the entrance, while the victim attempted to pay his tab so he could, quote, meet the suspect outside, at which time the suspect walked over to the victim and stabbed him in the stomach, and then fled from the establishment down the street, at which Mr. Fakir assured that he was leaving, as well as notified 911 immediately. On Thursday, May 27, 2021, I did visit the establishment myself. I spoke and spoke with Mr. Fakir, who verified the facts that I've reviewed. he said the victim made those statements, "I will kill you," continued to agitate the suspect. Suspect wouldn't leave after told several times to leave after attempting to sell what he identified as hairbrushes. Mr. Rodahu also stated that normally his establishment is locked and access controlled of who he allows into the restaurant. But at this time, another customer who was waiting for a ride share had left the establishment at this time. At which time the suspect entered with an electric scooter, made the statements that he made. During my visit, Mr. Wadahu played the surveillance video of this incident for myself, which I was able to record with my government issued phone. Due to some issues with playback of video, it was easier to gain the video that way. So I do have that video available for you today if you wish to view it, the incident.
That's it?
Yes.
Was the video clear? Was it a clear video in your estimation?
It's a clear video. Yes.
The reason why, because in the letter from the police, they're saying that the video wasn't clear. So I was just trying to find out where was the discrepancy.
You could identify the incident. At the time of the recording this, there were two camera angles that would have shown this shot, but one of them was not visible during the review. I will note that I did visit this establishment last week after the authoring of this report, and spoke with the owner, who stated she's been in contact with the family, who the victim has survived. It was a non-life-threatening injury. At which time I had asked to review the video again, and this time I was actually able to see another angle from the opposite end. It's still the same incident. It's the same view. I mean, everything is the same. It's nothing additional. It's just two different views.
Yeah, but the camera is a clear view. It was this.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you. Did you observe any ABRA violations at any point during your investigation?
I did not.
All right. Thanks. All right, ma'am. Is there anything you want to state, Ms. Teshome? I'm sorry. What's it? Pronounce your name for me again one more time, please, ma'am.
Teshome, last name Teshome.
Teshome. Is there anything that you want to state?
It's basically the same, but it's when I was not there, my husband was there, which is the ABC manager, and I talked to him and what happened exactly. And the customer, he comes before 2, and see what happened is when the guys enter, those guys, on the streets, they always come. Sometimes they hungry for food, we give them, and there is no problem. But on that date, and sometimes they ask, do you want to buy this? We refuse, but even you refuse and tell them to go out, they say, we have right to ask a customer. We're not here for you. They argue with you. They don't go just right away or something. But my husband refused. He told him to go, and at the same time, the other guy, and he stand up. He said, "Hey, you're not supposed to bring to the people's business location to sell something. You need to go out." And the other guy, the seller, and said, called him F word, and it's not your business, blah blah. He was insulting him, and at the same time, oh, I want to meet you outside. I know you. In between that, my husband said, "You need to go out." So the customer said, my husband told me, my husband he said he called him F word, and he called him names like what is that? The F, like faggot or something. He called him like that. And the customer got upset. He said, "I'll kill you, okay? Wait for me outside." And he stand up and he has a little knife, very little, look like a box cutter knife. And it was fast. Every action was fast. And he poke him, he ran. So my husband ran after the guy because always in front of our restaurant, there are police officer sitting there observing the areas. So my husband thinks the police was there trying to aware them. So he find out they're not there. He come back, he called 911, and the police came and took him. And that's it was very fast incident. So.
All right. I don't have any questions. Any questions by the board members? Is there anything in light of what happened? Is there anything that you could have done to prevent this incident? I'm asking you, Ms. Testom.
You mean no? Yeah, of course. I mean, even we're not gonna allow the customer anymore to that place because we don't want we don't have this kind of violation. I've been there almost like since 2015, and I mean, if he comes back, even the customer, I'm not gonna allow the customer because I don't want any kind of this kind of situation again.
No, you're saying that I think you said that the exit and entry to the establishment is controlled. Explain that to me, please.
It's not all the time. It's the misunderstanding, I guess, when my husband told the investigator. Sometimes, like some night, you see activities on the street, Georgia Avenue, especially Jefferson and Kennedy. There are so many activities. When we see some weird activity outside, we lock the door because we don't want to deal after they get inside. We don't want to deal, go outside or something. We just lock it. We see the people, notice a normal customer, peaceful customer, we let them inside. If not, we don't even open the doors. Just sometimes we use some kind of that action. Not like all the time, or it's not that much problem that I mean, Jefferson area is better than Kennedy's. Our area is not that much problem.
Well, I know that you're trying to do what's secure, but just want to let you know that you cannot lock the door while you have customers in the establishment. So that's something you need to be careful of.
Okay, I'm just when we see some kind of weird activity, we just even the customer want us to do that.
Well, of course, you can do what you need to do to keep yourself and your customers safe. I was just saying that you can't. There are emergencies. There are emergencies that you need to do what you need to do if there's an emergency. I just said you cannot routinely lock the door while you have customers there. But of course, if there are emergencies, then one can take emergency precautions to protect yourself and your customers. But I just want to make sure that the door is not locked routinely so a customer cannot freely exit just in case if there's an emergency, the customer cannot freely exit the establishment.
No, okay.
I don't have any other questions. I'm not sure if I asked if there's any questions by any board members. And did I ask that question already? All right. So I mean, I'll make a motion that we take no further action on this matter. I see that I appreciate the fact that you're here today. I see that you take this matter seriously. The chief of police asked us to have a fact finding here, and we requested that you be here. You're here. You're very forthright, and I appreciate that. The investigator testified that he did not see any ABRA violations, that your establishment freely share videos with ABRA. And so I appreciate that, the cooperation and how business should operate. And I'm just hoping that you don't have any other incidents on your block and you keep yourself and your customers safe. So with that, I said before, I'll make a motion that we take no further action. Is there a second? Do I have
Ms.
a
Crockett
second?
seconds.
Miss, all right, thank you, Ms. Crockett. I'll take a roll call vote. Mr. Short. I can't hear you, Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
All right, thank you. Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, aye.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
And Ms. Hanson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. Thank you. The matter passed 5-0. Thank you for appearing here today. And the board will take no further action because based on your explanation, and it doesn't appear that this was something that was within your control. Your establishment is a sense that your husband, who's an ABC manager, as you stated, called the police immediately, provide assistance to the customer, and you turned over video to Abra, and so there was really no issue as far as Abra is concerned that you did not cooperate with the process. So I appreciate that. All right. So thank you very much and have a great day. All right.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. All right. All right, there ends our official calendar for the day. And so I'm gonna now do our supplemental licensing agenda. And the first matter on our supplemental licensing agenda is a review application for stipulated license with letter of ANC support for a new ABC license. This is Duffy's Irish Pub, license number 118030. I make a motion that we approve this request. Is there a second?
Ms. Crockett seconds.
Ms. Crockett has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote on the motion. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passes 5-0. The next matter is the review application for stipulated license with letter of ANC support for a new ABC license. This is Stop Smackin' Restaurant and Lounge, license number 118129. I make a motion that we approve this request. Is there a second?
Ms. Crockett seconds.
Ms. Crockett has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote on the motion. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Anderson, I agree, and the matter passed 5-0. The next request is a review request for a temporary operating retail permit. This is for DC Vegan, license number 118543. I make a motion that we approve this request. Is there a second?
Mr. Short, I second.
Mr. Short, I second the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote on the motion. Mr. Short.
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato.
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett.
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson.
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
And Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passed 5-0. We now move to our docket for the day. There are 3 establishments on the docket. I will review the names of the applicants. I will state what category of license they have, and I will also state what it is being requested. At the end of the docket, I will make a motion that the board approve the request. So the first applicant is an applicant from Nansha Restaurant, which is also Muchina Restaurant, license number 118223. This is a retailer C restaurant. This is a transfer without sale application. The next request, a request made by Residence Inn by Marriott Washington, Capitol Hill Navy Yard, license number 118427. This is a retailer C Tavern. This is a transfer with sale application. The third request, a request made by Jean Carlos Nevado. This is for a personal importation permit application. The license number is 21 IMP 00013, in the sense that they are requesting a personal importation permit. I then make a motion that the ABC board grants the request made by the applicants on this docket that was just read in the record. Is there a second?
Ms. Crockett seconds.
Ms. Crockett has seconded the motion. We'll now have a roll call vote on the motion that was properly seconded by Ms. Crockett. Mr. Short,
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato,
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett,
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson,
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
and Mr. Anderson, I agree. The matter passes 5-0. We have now come to the end of our calendar, and we have come to the end of our agenda items. And if there's no further questions, I will close the record. As chairperson of the Alcohol Beverage Control Board for the District of Columbia, in accordance with Title III, Chapter 405, Office of Open Government, I move that ABC Board hold a closed meeting on June 16th, 2021 for the purpose of discussing and hearing reports concerning ongoing or planned investigations of alleged criminal or civil misconduct or violations of law or regulations, and seeking legal advice from our legal counsel on the board's investigative agenda, legal agenda, and licensing agenda for June 16th, 2021, as published in the DC Registry on June 11th, 2021. Is there a second?
Ms. Crockett seconds.
Ms. Crockett has seconded the motion. I will now take a roll call vote on the motion before it has been properly seconded. Mr. Short,
Mr. Short, I agree.
Mr. Cato,
Bobby Cato, I agree.
Ms. Crockett,
Rafi Crockett, I agree.
Ms. Henson,
Jenny Hansen, I agree.
Mr. Anderson, I agree. As it appears that the motion has passed, I hereby give notice that the ABC Board will hold this aforementioned closed meeting. Pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, notice will also be posted on the ABC Board Hearing Room Bulletin Board, placed on the electronic calendar on ABRA's website, and published in the DC Register in as timely a manner as practical. We are now adjourned for the day. I want to thank the public for its participation. I would like to thank the board members for their active participation in this hearing today. So we're now adjourned for the day, and I now direct all board members to return to executive session for further business. Thank you very much and have a great day.